You have probably heard of buy now, pay later if you haven't used it already. You're shopping online, and when you go to the checkout, it offers you the opportunity to like pay in four installments or whatever, small payments over the course of time. Super convenient, can be really helpful for people who don't want to put something on their credit card. But it is a practice that has some risks associated with it. We're going to talk about BNPL and some of the risks that you may face with Rob Kilner. He is licensed insolvency trustee and partner at Spurgill. Hello there.
Hey Bruce, how you doing?
This has grown exponentially over the course of the last, I don't know, I probably did my first interview on BNPL like prior to the pandemic. So maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. What do you
Wow.
make of how fast it has grown?
It's something we didn't see back then. So on insolvencies, because we're doing proposals and bankruptcies, but in the last like 2 years, you just see it everywhere, and in bank statements and everything. So I mean, we just see it so much more common than we did
Yeah.
even 5 years ago, for sure.
For the people who work at those firms, they would say
Hmm.
to the consumer, it can allow them to buy what they need and not put it on a credit card. What we probably could say with fair amount of credibility is it's not necessarily what they need because they can order Uber Eats using BNPL. What do
Yeah.
you think are some of the risks or the downsides of that financing option?
Oh, the biggest risk by far is debt stacking. And what I mean by that is because it's so incremental, people don't realize how much they're spending. Like if I put $1,000 on my credit card, I see $1,000 right away. I finance a shirt and I have to pay $10, in 10 installments or something like that, and I do it across multiple products. They just see it as $10 on the payment, so it's not that immediate look. It's absolutely dangerous in debt stacking.
Yeah. Uh, for someone who comes to you, they
Yep.
have debt they can't manage. Like things are
Yep.
quite acute by the time they're picking up the phone and calling a trustee. How do you look at BNPL, either similar to or different from other debts that they may have on their balance sheet?
How we look at it is we tell people you have to understand you got to be very careful. So it's very obvious to people interest rates on credit cards, interest rates on payday loans, and all this. They understand that. What they don't understand with the BNPL is they think it is no fees. It's like, oh, it's interest free. No, it's just kind of cooked in, right? So, like, if I were to sell somebody a BNPL shirt at 150 bucks, if I bought it directly from them right now, they probably would pay 130 because they're getting charged by these services. So you are paying a fee for this. And then from there, how we talk to people is they don't realize how much they spend. So I almost convey it back to the old cutting the cord of cable. So people would cut the cord of cable, like, I don't want to pay this $90 for the cable. I'm going to go to streaming. And before you know it, you have six streaming services paying $120 a month. And you're going, I'm paying more than the cable. And I didn't
Right.
realize it. They really don't realize that, how much they're
Right.
spending.
For people who don't understand how a consumer proposal works, let's just
Yeah.
summarize here. Like all of the debt comes to the trustee. You've got the full view of the thing. I'm going to oversimplify. You pick up the phone, call the creditors and say, listen, this client can't pay. Could you please lower the amount? And then we're going to put it all into one payment and it's going to be super simple. That is clearly the way it works on a couple of credit cards. Where does BNPL fit? Can you put BNPL into a consumer proposal?
Absolutely. They're actually still so new to the process that they're not even involving them too much in our process. So they just file the claims, they're writing this off. They're just such new companies, but they're just like anybody else. You put them out. I will say the biggest danger we're seeing is people's habits and thought process towards it. So like we did that survey, it was over 200 people that kind of responded to it. The way they see BNPL in a very positive light. Like they will still go back to it. They didn't see it as a negative the way they would see spending debt with credit cards and everything.
To what do you attribute that cognitive dissonance?
Yeah, it's the death by a million blows. So like when we look at even bank statements, there's bank statements now that I see and they're like 10 pages long and they're going, well, where do I all go? I'll let $10 each time for about 150 purchases. So it's that disassociation with the debt is that's what they're not realizing is it all adds up and they're just letting it go. And that's why they don't see it as a negative. It's not in one fall swoop. They're willing to take the 100 blows instead of just one.
You mentioned that if someone does a consumer proposal, it may be that the BNPL debt just goes away. But what
Mhm.
happens before that when they're in the period of like struggling to keep up and make their
Yeah.
payments? What's the consequence? If you don't make a minimum payment on a credit card, there is a
Yeah.
very clear consequence on your credit score. What's the consequence to credit score if you miss one of those four installments on your BNPL?
It depends if they're actually reporting or not, depending on the different firms, if they're reporting to your bureau. But they're aggressive in their collections, and they in some will report, like the major player. Don't know if I say the name, but I can affirm that I know who it is to you. But yes, they'll report to your bureau, so it takes the hit. But they're very aggressive in collections. They'll cut off your account. They will harass you for those payments. So the stress can be there much more present with those debts than a credit card where it's just due once a month. They might give you a month leeway before harassing you. These ones are aggressive and they'll cut off your account really quickly.
I want to come back to this phrase that you started with, and I think it's really helpful to distinguish it. Debt
Mhm.
stacking. What
Yeah.
do you mean by debt stacking?
What I mean is when, say, if I purchased one thing for like $5,000, it's one product, I have one payment. Debt stacking is I will buy multiple things and it's all stacking onto each other. So maybe I didn't spend 10,000 in one place, but I spent 500 each place and stacking and stacking. And I have all these different obligations. So even from our study, more than half, they have multiple accounts. Like I'm buying my clothes, I'm buying my electronics. Another common one, which is very unfortunate, and why this credit is so available is it's usually to people who don't have the lines of credit in these major credits. So you see with immigrants, I have to buy a plane ticket to go home because I had a family member pass away. So you're seeing these things just all add up. And that's what debt stacking is I'm just putting debt upon debt upon debt with different accounts.
Right. And there's a challenge to just keep on top of where it all is, what it's
Mhm.
due, versus if you had a credit card with a $15,000 limit. I'm not saying people do that, but at least it would be in one place. You'd be able to see it all in one place. The deadline would be the same time every single month, and it would be in some ways easier to manage just in organizational terms.
Absolutely. And it's all in one place. And I see the costs associated with every month. My credit card statement, hey, I paid $500 and my principal came down by $10, right? So I realize how much interest I'm paying. The buy now, pay later, it's all just I'm pushing it into the future. So they're getting bled out and they don't realize it because then I'm just buying my next product on buy now, pay later. And instead of buying my groceries for 300, I'm spending 500 the next time. And before they know it, they just have way too much
Hmm.
juggling between all these accounts going forward.
Abstinence is a concept that's hotly debated in lots of categories. Well, we're talking about our teenagers and that kind of activity, or we're talking
Yeah.
about alcohol or food or any other so-called vice. Are there ways in which people can use BNPL responsibly that means that they don't have to never use it at all? So could they adjudicate based on category or the number of contracts they have with BNPLers? Like what would be some rules of the guiding principles?
Guiding principle. So don't buy what you don't need. Right. So it's like if I do you really need that shirt for $150 that I'm going to put on BNPL? Probably not. Right. So it's just like anything with a credit card. And the same type of rules is if you don't need it, why are you not paying for cash today? Well, I'm not paying for cash today because I don't have the money. Well, you probably don't need it.
Right.
Then don't buy it. Right. Like that is the principle to anything with debt is do I actually need this? And if I need it and I can't pay for today, why? Why can't I pay? What's going on? What's my plan to actually take care of this so I don't have to turn back to this over and over and over again?
Really interesting stuff. If I could turn back time, I don't know how we would have designed this differently, but BNPL's proving to create real challenges for Canadian consumers.
Yeah, I mean it's a new thing. I mean, not to age you or anything like that, but you remember layaway? It's the same thing. It's just now
I
you're
am
actually getting the
so
product
not old
way.
enough to remember layaway. I have no idea what you're talking about. Is that the same as consumers distributing in the catalog?
Oh, those are the days. But yeah, you're actually just getting the product right away now, right? So it's just an old trick put in a new package. That's all it is. So
Rob, thanks for your time today.
I appreciate it, Bruce. All right, take care.
Rob Kilner, licensed insolvency trustee and partner at Spurgel. He was here to talk about BNPL, buy now, pay later. It has taken the marketplace by storm, which isn't necessarily a good thing.